Small Town Cooking with Marianne. I'm Marianne. Today we're peeling potatoes. We are going to make potato latkes, or you can call them bleenies, or you can call them potato fritters, or potato pancakes, either way. So I have these potatoes. They're pretty big. I'm only making a little batch today. We have 3 really big potatoes and a medium-sized onion. Okay, I'm going to just peel this up. I have a bowl of cold water here. I'm going to cheat a little bit. I'm going to use my food processor. You can grate it. My dad used to make these, and he used to grate them with the little metal triangle grater or square grater. I'm not that ambitious. Okay, let's get these all peeled. And I have gloves on because I don't know why, but potatoes make my hands burn. Okay. We're going to let them sit in the water so they keep their color. The old-fashioned paring knife is easier than the, whoops, look at my floor. There we go. I'm going to sit it in here for now until I'm finished. Okay. So I hear everybody outside cleaning up after the snowfall we had, and of course the highways all have to have accidents already. And I was talking to my mother-in-law. She lives in Philadelphia, and her and my little nieces, and a nice branch fell on somebody's car in the town, a couple doors down from her. So needless to say, they're all excited over that. Okay. Now I'm only making a small batch because you can warm these up, but they're not as good as fresh. And I don't know why people wait until we have fairs around here to spend a lot of money for them, like $1 a piece, because they're so easy to make. And I think they're a lot less greasy when you make them at home because you can control it. You don't have that grease sitting there. You don't have the people in line, hurry up, hurry up, hurry up. So they don't let the fat get warm enough before they continue. Okay, now I'm going to cut up my onion. I don't even know what they look like in the middle because sometimes these potatoes are terrible in the middle. So we'll have to play along. If they are, then I have my bag on the floor here. Okay. Alright, let's get this off. Oh, no, not too much off of it, just the outer skin. And all it is potatoes, onions, and salt, and I put pepper. You're going to need an egg. Here we go. Okay, I'll get rid of all this. And I have the garbage can down. Actually, it's coming up so I can get rid of this. There we go. Easy. Yay. Now, you don't want too much water in it. So what I'm going to do is rinse my potatoes. It'll be over at the sink. Drain it and give them a rinse. Put them on paper towels. Okay. Alright, now, make sure I have that plugged in. I have my trusty food processor. Sorry I'm not looking up so much. Okay, now, we're going to put, and what I want you to do is get a bowl, get a strainer, like this, Put it in a bowl, and we're going to put the potatoes after they're finished processing in here, and we're going to let the liquid drain out for about 15 minutes or so, not too long. I don't think it's going to need it. Let's put the onions in the processor. And we're going to cut up the potatoes. And actually, this is how most places make this. I've seen them just put them in a processor. Now I'm going to process it because if I overload it, it is going to have chunks of potato. Okay, here we go. Scrape it down a little bit. You don't want chunks because if you do, you're going to have a hard time cooking it. Okay, you just have a lot of liquid in there, so you'll see it when I pour it out. Okay. Very wet. And you're going to have to get, for this, I would probably, use 2 eggs. Bring them out while you're letting this drip. Whew, those onions are potent. 2 eggs, and then we'll see how much I put flour in mine. Everything, whatever you like. How moist your potatoes are. These are pretty wet, so they're going to be draining for a little bit. Okay. Make sure there's no brown marks. Alright. Just chop them up. Throw them in. Alright. Finish with this. And we're going to cover it up. I'm not very particular about the coloring. Some people worry about it turning brown. After you get done, you can't even tell. Yeah, I'm struggling. It's hard to turn. I bought a new bowl because I destroyed my other one. And instead of spending a lot of money, I went to a site on the internet and I bought a new bowl and a new blade. And boy, is this new. I can't even get it open sometimes. Alright, that should do it. Alright, take the blade out. And it looks like mashed potatoes. Well, that's what it is. You mashed up potatoes, but don't season it yet. We're not seasoning it. We're going to let it sit for about 15-20 minutes, get most of that liquid out. And mush it together. Let me show you now. It should have a lot. Look, I don't know. Can you see that? Okay. That's some of the liquid. You're going to get more out. Dump that out. Oh my goodness. It's coming out already. Okay. We'll let it sit. What I'm going to do is put a plate on top of it and keep as much air out of it as I can. And we'll be back in a little bit And then we'll start cooking, seasoning, and everything else. I'll clean up and I'll see you later. Okay, we're back. I took the strainer out of the bowl, emptied it. I had another 1/4 cup of liquid in there. It makes about a whole cup in there, half a cup at least. Okay, now, you can see how white these are. That's not going to happen to every potato that you have. If you have a red bliss potato, or depending on your potato, it might turn gray. Don't worry, it's not bad. It's still good. Okay, so it's 3 potatoes, and here's even more liquid that came out of it. So if it's gray, it's fine. I'm surprised this is white. These are very good. Kind of dry. Alright, don't worry if it's gray. It'll still be fine. So it's 3 big potatoes. And I see an onion in there. And it was 1 medium-sized onion. I've got 2 eggs. I'm going to scramble them a little bit. And I've got flour. Let me get my salt and my pepper. Whee, that was about maybe 1/8 of a teaspoon. I'm going to put all together about a 1/2 teaspoon of pepper. Not everybody uses pepper in theirs. I like it. Okay, and salt. Let me open it over here. Okay. You're going to need the salt because it's bland. We're going to start with, it's a 1/2 teaspoon. Excuse me while I get my measuring spoon so I can give you the right directions. Is that a 1/2? Nope, it's 1/4 teaspoon for now, and we'll mix it up. If you find any big chunks in there, try to break them up. They'll cook. I mean like little, not big chunks of potato. What we're going to do, put in some flour, even though this does have starch. Now 1 or 2 things you can do is you can either make a tiny bleenie or tiny pancake and taste it, or you can give it a little finger taste. Needs more salt, a little bit more. I'd say about a 1/4 teaspoon more, so 1/2 teaspoon of salt so far. Okay, it's my stomach, and they look pretty good, so I don't think I'm gonna end up with worms. Okay, now in the meantime, I'm gonna get my oil ready. I have a nice heavy pan. I have a 1/4 inch of let me see, what am I using? Grapeseed oil. We're using that. So 1/4 inch in a heavy pan. You can use cast iron, anything you want. Don't use, well, just make sure you're not going to stick on the bottom. It's going to be very hot. So we'll be back and I'll show you how hot I need the pan and how to test it. Okay, now I have a 1/4 inch of oil in my pan, and I'm going to show you how you know it is hot enough. You just plop a little piece in and you hear that sizzle. That means it's ready. Ready to fry. Okay, put that to the side. Now at this point, if you're not sure if you have enough seasoning in your potatoes, you can make a little pancake and then taste it, and that way you know you have it. Okay, we're going to take about a big tablespoon and tablespoon and a half. Put it in carefully, flatten it. It'll cook more even. I do have the oven on at 200. I have my stove is going to be at 6, which is medium high, and I have a cookie tray with paper towels to drain the fat. I'll probably get 3 in here. Pretty good size. You can make them as big or as small as you would like. Now, I have 2 forks. I find it easier to flip over. And I do have my little spatula here. That's just my oven getting warmed up. Let me bring it down to 5. As long as it doesn't stop bubbling, you want that bubble. You want that. When it starts getting solid around the edges, then you flip it over. So you don't want it too high because it'll cook too fast. It'll get too brown too soon and it'll burn. So you want it down, I have it down to 5, that's halfway. And when you have a heavy pan and you have enough oil in here and it's hot enough, it's easy to move around. You aren't going to get a lot of absorption of the oil. Move it around a little bit. As soon as you can get it off the bottom. There you go. There you go. Okay. And you just wait. I'm going to bring it down to 4.5. You don't want it too super hot. They have to cook. Remember, it's raw potato and raw onion and egg. So you want to make sure it cooks. There's a little one there. That's going to be mine. When you pull them out, you'll sprinkle them with a little bit of salt. If you're watching your salt and you think you put enough in, it was only a ½ teaspoon of salt in here, then it'll be just as good. Okay. Let's get nice and brown. Now here's what I do. Take my 2 forks and flip it. I find it works easier than using a spatula. Now that one's got to sit. It's not ready. See that pretty golden brown. And I take out the excess. Anything floating around so they don't burn. So it's only like about 3 minutes on each side. You can tell it's still soft. Let it cook. So now we have it at 4.5 on my stove, which is like, what do we go up to? Goes up to 8.5. So it's halfway. I would say medium high. I'm going to take a taste of this one. See if that's ready yet. You have to keep your eyes on it. Don't walk away because you can have a fat fire, grease fire, or they will burn. You turn your back on it, so stay here and watch it all the time. Let's see if I can get this one over. It's still a little thick. We'll let it sit. Let me see. Oh, that is good. Perfect amount of onion, potato together. It's going to need a little sprinkle of salt at the end. See, it's getting ready to hold together. You don't want to dry it out. That's what happens when you make it thick. It's hard to turn. And over. There we go. And I have the oven on so that you can keep them warm while you're waiting. And we'll see how many we make with the potatoes. It is a little runny, but it's not too runny. You need a little moisture in here. Oh, and I only used maybe about 1/4 cup of flour for these potatoes. If they aren't holding together, like this, like mashed potato, then you might need a little bit more. You have to go by the potatoes that you have. Alright, see what we have. Very nice. See, brown on both sides. And firm. So this one's ready. No, that one's not ready yet. And that one we just turned. Okay. Now I'm going to put it up to 5. Only because I don't want the temperature to go down too far, and I'm going to put another one in. About a heaping tablespoon and a half, as big or as little as you want it. Right, let me fry up the rest of them, and we'll see how many we get. And as I go, I'm going to put them into the oven, let them stay warm, and we'll be back in a couple minutes. Okay, there they are, golden on both sides. The last 2. Okay, and you can see you still have quite a bit of oil left over. So they didn't soak up that much, and what they did is on paper towels. Okay, we're going to give it one more flip. I had trouble with one of them, so I had to get back to the spatula. Okay, we're going to flip. Take the salt, give it a little sprinkle. There we go. And onto the plate. Got 8, which is perfect. There'll be a little left over. There you go. Get a minute. I had it over in the oven for a little bit. And that's it. Beautiful Bleenies, potato pancakes. What else? Potato fritters. You didn't have to wait in line for 2 hours for the festival, and you have them here for yourself. You controlled the fat, you controlled what was in it. And that'll be it for now. Let me think of something else for you, and I will be back. And if you enjoyed this video, press the thumbs up, subscribe, and share it. Come back, and I will see you later, and I will have lots of prayers for good health and for happiness for everybody. Love you. Bye-bye.